Welcome to Tucson Water's Water Info Van presentation. I'd like you to meet my soggy friends, the Drops. We like to share some of our exciting experiences with all of you.
Come along with us, Water Drops, on our journey as we fall from the clouds high over Tucson into the desert below. We will travel deep underground and then be pumped back up through wells built by Tucson Water to supply the people of Tucson with fresh, clean water.
Hey down there!
Rain in the Sonoran Desert is very beautiful and helps animals and plants to survive. But here in Tucson, the rain doesn't happen very often or last for very long.
Awesome surf.
Do any of you know where all the water goes after the rainstorms have passed? Well, much of the water rushes through the washes and rivers that are all around our town. Some of the water that falls during a storm returns to the clouds high up in the sky. When water from the earth returns up into the sky, we call that process evaporation.
Can you say evaporation?
Water that doesn't evaporate back into the air from the heat of the sun slowly seeps down into the earth.
If you could slice through the earth as if it were a giant cake, you would be able to see many different layers, some thick, some thin, some rocky, and others sandy. There are places in the layers of the earth where there are enough tiny little spaces to hold a lot of water. These places are called aquifers.
Can you say aquifer?
The water that fills the spaces between grains of sand and gravel and the cracks in rocks is called groundwater.
It takes a very, very long time for drops of water like us to seep down from the surface of the earth through all these rocky layers to join the groundwater. And once we get down here in the aquifer, we're trapped for many, many years. Groundwater is the most important source of water for all of us that live in Tucson. But before we can use the groundwater that is trapped deep down in the earth, we have to bring it back up to the surface. This is done by drilling wells. Hey, watch out, you young drops. They must be drilling another well.
What's a well?
A well is a hole that's dug far down into the earth using a big, powerful drilling machine. Sections of pipe are inserted down into the well to line the inside of the hole. Eventually, water is pumped back up.
Hey, where are we going? Wow!
So this is what a typical Tucson water well looks like after it has been drilled and is in use. Look around sometime. I bet you have one right near your house or along the way to your school. In order to supply Tucson with the huge amounts of water used by everyone in our city, Tucson Water has drilled hundreds of wells all throughout the Tucson Basin. When you turn on the faucet at your home, school, or in the park, the water that comes out was pumped up from deep underground through these wells. Now we're going to take a break so that you can do an activity which shows the different ways people living in Tucson have gotten their water, and how the demand for water has changed over the years. See you later! It's great to see you guys again! So far, you've learned that it doesn't rain very often here in the desert. That Tucson's water comes from deep underground places called aquifers. That wells are drilled into the ground in order to bring up this groundwater to the surface. And that Tucson Water operates many wells throughout the city.
But how does all the water that's pumped up by wells get delivered to our homes, apartments, and other places? Just follow us to find out.
If you were looking down at the earth with special X-ray glasses from a plane flying over Tucson, you would be able to see all of the buried underground pipes that Tucson Water uses to move our water around town.
Water from the wells flows through big underground pipes to smaller pipes that are buried throughout every neighborhood and lead to our homes, schools, hospitals, restaurants, and other places. The water that we don't need right away continues on through big pipes to be stored in reservoirs located in different parts of Tucson. Reservoirs are like huge covered swimming pools, but since we use this water for drinking, nobody is allowed to swim in them. One of the reasons the reservoirs are kept covered is to prevent people from jumping in them. But the main reason to keep reservoirs covered is to conserve water by preventing it from evaporating back into the air. Tucson Water tries to make the reservoirs blend into their surroundings.
You may be wondering, why do we store so much water in reservoirs? Well, during the scorching hot summer months, we use a lot more water in Tucson. Because our wells can't pump all the water we need, we store extra water in the reservoirs at night to make sure we have enough. The next day, when the stored water is needed, Tucson Water allows it to flow back out of the reservoirs. Water from the reservoirs mixes with well water as it passes through the system of buried pipes, which carry water to your house and houses all over the city.
So when the temperature gets very hot and the plants, pets, and people need more water, it's all ready for us to use in our yards and homes.
Now the next time you turn on a faucet, you'll know exactly where your water came from and what happened to it along the way. Thanks for watching and learning about the wonders of water. Goodbye!